Greetings, everyone.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
All right. Okay, while we're waiting, let me just let this person in. We'll wait one more minute and then we'll get started. Okay, so while we're waiting, won't everybody just say their name, introduce yourself, and say what school district you represent.
Hey, I'm Timothy Niven, and I'm from New Hanover County District.
Hey, Timothy.
I'm Emiliano, and I'm from San Diego Unified School District.
Okay.
I'm Raylene, and I'm also from the San Diego Unified School District.
I'm Amrita, and I'm from the San Diego Unified School District.
Which district is that?
Oh, San Diego Union High School District.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're neighboring, but not the same.
Yeah, I believe Nick went to high school in the Union District.
That's cool.
Okay, I think we have a couple more that didn't announce. Hey, Daniel, we just, everyone is introducing themselves and saying what school district they're from.
So I guess my name is Daniel Telesnikov. I'm in the LAUSD school district, and I'm in 10th grade.
Great. You, Dave Hicks is your CTE teacher?
Yes, that is correct.
Great. Okay, we got a,
And I'm also from San Diego District.
okay. Is that everyone? I believe it is. I believe it is. So what we'd like to do today, I would love for, if any of you have PowerPoints that we can share the screen with you. This is an opportunity for us to really be able to give you feedback on where you are and let you know if you're on the right track. Is anybody prepared to do that today? All right, Timothy.
I think that would be a consensus of no from the group. I started one, but it's not quite like ready to. I have like maybe 5 slides out of like the 15 that I want actually like done.
Okay. Well,
It's not quite there yet.
that's fine. We always present an opportunity for students to give a, even when they're just going, it's really good sometimes to be able to present that to the team, and we can give you feedback and let you know if you're on the right track. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna schedule maybe 2 more workshops, and those workshops will be a little bit later. And at that time, you guys will be a little further along in your business plans and your presentations. But it is the only time that you'll actually have an opportunity for us or other members of the committee, which I will invite to those workshops, that will actually give you feedbacks and actually give you recommendations on how to strengthen your business plans. So, and I know most of you guys are probably still working on your business plans, because you do that first and then you do your presentation based on your business plan. So having said that, I think what we'll do today is I will go over a few business plans from the past, some resumes, some sample resumes, so that you guys can kind of see what we're looking for in a resume. And the business plans that I've chosen today, they're average business plans to good. They're average to good. Some of them may not have placed. One of the things that I hate to see, and it happens every year, we have some students that have an amazing idea, a really well thought out, amazing concept that's original, and it's fundable, and it's something that's realistic and just amazing. And they have a great concept, but they just miss the bar on their business plan. They don't put enough work into their business plan, and they end up not doing as well as they could have because they just didn't take the time to really think through their business plan and put together a presentation that really summarizes. And you'll see also in some of the presentations that you'll see today, they may have covered their finances in their business plan, but they forgot to include a presentation of their finances in their PowerPoint. So one of the things you guys have to keep in mind is that there's 2 reviews. One is going to be done by the committee once you submit those. And then you guys will be scored by the judges when you actually present on June the 3rd. So you have to keep in mind, those judges would not have seen your business plans. The only thing that they would have saw, they're going to see is your presentation. So they're going to be judging your presentations only. And then your scores from your presentation and your scores from your submissions is how we tally the points. So we'll walk through some of those business plans and presentations, and I can show you where we have some students that may have covered their market research very well in their business plan, but they didn't have a slide to really discuss their market research in their business plan. Okay. Somebody just sent a text and say they were not able to hear me. Are you guys able to hear me okay?
Yeah, I'm able to hear you fine.
Sorry.
Same here.
Let's see. Oh, no, this is someone that didn't introduce themselves. Okay, Mayang, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Mayan, and I'm from the San Diego Union High School District.
Okay, San Diego is represented strong today.
Sorry, I couldn't hear anything in the beginning, and so my Wi-Fi cut out, I think.
Okay, okay. Well, I know we do have folks from Miami, DC. They're missing the workshops, but which is something because they joined late. So what we will do, and if any of you guys have missed any of the workshops, we were having problems with our recordings. I believe the one from last week and this one will be, they are recording perfectly. But if anybody needs some additional help, just shoot us an email. If you've missed a workshop, we'll schedule some time to go over that material with you. So we're here to help anybody. We're not going to say no to anyone. If anybody wants to shoot us an email, say, and they missed the workshop, and we'll find some time to go over the material with you. We want you guys to do well. I mean, this is the first of many of these national competitions. We like that you guys are having the opportunity to meet students from across the country and see what other school districts are doing. And once we get out of the COVID, we're hoping to be able to have some sort of major national competition, maybe in New York or Los Angeles, that we'll be able to fly you guys out to the West Coast or the East Coast. But anyway, so let me share my screen here, and I am going to go over. So you guys can all see the screen, Business Plan Essentials.
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, great. So before I go over the Business Plan Essentials, what I want to do is just kind of briefly go over what we've covered in past workshops, just real quick. The very first workshop was just an orientation. If you missed that, I mean, I just went over the guidelines and answered questions. If anybody had questions on the guidelines. Let's see, we have another question here. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so in the second workshop, we talked a little bit about market research. We talked about what is market research, you know, why is it so important, and why is it a critical piece to your business plan. We talked about some of the mistakes that are made typically when doing market research. Talked about your 10 pages, and you know, you realistically, you know, maybe you have a half a page to a page or so to really be able to talk about market research, understanding the market, and you know what could happen if you don't do adequate market research in your business plan. That could be just a fatal blow in a business if you don't really do the market research to study and really understand the market that you're operating in. Then we also talk a little bit about partnerships and the value of, you know, finding a business partner that can help strengthen your position in the marketplace. It's not vital for this competition, but it is something that we like to see because we think it gives you a more realistic understanding of how a business operation works, as well as how you're able to strengthen your operation sometimes by partnering with maybe even one of your competitors. So we talked about different types of partnerships, and you know, and in our guidelines, we encourage you guys to, you know, find a business in your industry and, you know, call them up and say, hey, I'm participating in this competition at school with the Nick Cannon Foundation, and we're looking for businesses that could potentially partner with us in this business plan. And we just want you guys to be able, if you do decide to do that, we want you to talk about in your business plan, you know, what are some of the advantages and why working together with this business is actually going to strengthen your business. We talked about some of the disadvantages. We talked about some of the partnerships out there, Apple and MasterCard, Airbnb and Flipboard. Those are some of the major brands that are in partnerships right now. And we just kind of went over some of the teams that have won the competition in the past, and this was pre-COVID, you know, where the students had the opportunities to actually build products. We're not expecting, you know, most of you guys to actually build a product because of COVID. But, you know, if you did have the opportunity to work together and learn how to work together safely, and you do have a product, then that's wonderful. You're not going to be penalized if we don't have, and particularly if you have a service business, you're not going to have a product that's going to the marketplace anyway. But talked about a team that won in our Charlotte competition. And then we talked about the finances and the importance of doing at least a projection of your business finances for over 3 years. We're only going to require you to do your projections for 3 years, a minimum of 3 years. And if you decide you want to show us your revenue for 5 years, that's fine. We only are asking a minimum of 3 years. We talked a little bit about financial literacy. We had a guest speaker for this session that talked a little bit about the importance of establishing banking relationships and why it's important to save. We also talked about some of the key components to your financial assessment, and that is, and some of what are typical expenses in a business. Typical expenses here is your labor for paying your employees, the benefits. Administrative expensive includes your rent, your utilities, insurance, equipment, supplies, and those types of things. And for those of you that missed this session, we do have an Excel spreadsheet that we placed in our Business Plan Resource Center that is very useful for you guys to be able to use. Let me see if I can pull it up here real quick. Are you guys seeing the website now? Or are you still seeing my outline?
Still the word doc.
Okay, let's see. Okay, can you see the website now?
Yep.
Okay, great. So if you guys go to the website and you go to the B Plan Center tab, that's a list of resources that will help you in your business plans. I mean, it's an exhaustive list. You guys can kind of cruise through there. It talks about samples of writing executive summaries, protecting your intellectual property, a lot of different things. But up here at the top, there's a template that says cash flow template. And that is going to be so valuable for you guys in this competition. So if you click on it, it'll basically show you, let's see here. Okay, can you guys see that spreadsheet?
We saw
Oh,
it
but
for a
still on the
sec.
website. Yeah.
Okay, wow, this have to hit new share every time I bring up a new screen. Okay, can you see the spreadsheet now?
Yep.
Okay, great. So I went over this in the last workshop, but this table, the spreadsheet actually here, all you'll have to do is fill in. So it shows you here what are typical administrative expenses. What starts with revenue up here, it shows you where, if you have revenue from a product or service. So what you'll do here, say if you have $1,000 in your first year here, what you can do is copy, whatever. I'm just going to copy this over to show you how it works. Okay. So all you'll have to do for this sheet here, you don't have to show us this table in your business plan. you can just use this table to calculate your total revenues and to calculate your total expenses. So what I did is, so if you put in whatever your monthly revenue is from this first product here, whatever your product or service is, you put in your monthly, it'll give you a total over here on the right. So if you have another product here, you could just put in whatever your monthly revenue is here and it'll calculate it for you. So in terms of what are your expenses, and remember we talked about your profits, very general is going to be whatever your revenue is minus your expenses. Very simple. We don't want you to go into taxes and Social Security and FICA and all those types of things. All we want to see is what are your total revenues minus your expenses, and that'll give you your profit. So you put your revenue in here and it'll give you the total revenue. And then you fill in whatever your expenses are going to be. So your labor here, whatever your labor cost is going to be. Now, this is going to be for your employees. Total whatever you pay for labor for the first month. Let's say if that's $5,000 that you paid in labor for the first month. It's actually calculating it'll actually calculate what your benefits will be. So if you fill that out, it'll give you whatever your total expenses are for labor and the benefits for that labor. And then here are your administrative, like for your rent. So you just put in this first column, whatever your rent is. If it's $1,000, if it's $500 a month, which is cheap rent, but you just fill that all the way across whatever your rent is for each month. It'll give you a total for your rent here. So here are the common types of expenses for a business. You're going to pay administrative salaries to like your assistant, and then you're going to pay them benefits. Rent, you're going to pay utilities, insurance, equipment, supplies, travel, marketing, those types of things. So we've already filled in the blanks for you in terms of what are the type of expenses you're going to have in your business. So you fill in these numbers across here, do your research, and to make sure that you're not spending too much money on marketing, or make sure you're not spending too much money on salaries and that kind of thing. And it will total for you. So it'll give you your total profit here in this bottom number here where it says 5750. So all you have to do is fill in your monthly revenues, fill in your monthly expenses, and it'll give you your total profit for the first year. So only thing we want to see in your business plan is your profits over 3 years. And we're only asking you to do this calculation for the first year. And then, so if your profits is, $5,750 for the first year, you can estimate what your profits are going to be over the next year. So if your profits is 5,000 in your first year or 500,000 in the first year, you can just estimate and say that, hey, I'm going to have, 20-30% growth each year. So you can just add that to your base year, which this table helped you calculate. And then you can just show a 20% growth every year, or you might be able to show, 75% growth after your second year. But we only want to see this 1 year base and the 2 year. So we just want to see 3 year projection. And I'll show you some examples in some of the sample business plans. Yeah, someone asked that, is this an income statement sheet? And actually it is. It is an income statement sheet. Good question. And so basically you show your revenue here. All of your revenue, and this is your income, your monthly income, and it'll total it up for you nicely here. And it'll give you here at the bottom what your total profit is for the first year. So what you have to do is study your business, and you can determine based on what your business is, if you need office space, what the rent is going to be every month. you can call some facilities to kind of get an estimate as to what rent costs, per month, what utilities and those types of things. So just make sure that it's realistic. And it depends on the type of equipment that you're going to have. You can guys do the research, and then you'll just really have to fill in the blanks here. And then you'll be able to put together like a graph to show us your revenue projection. We want to make, we want you to demonstrate that you're going to make money in the business. We don't want you to start a business, to lose money. We definitely want you to start a business and be profitable in that business operations. So I just thought I'd go over that again, because this is such a vital sheet here to helping you guys doing your finances. Just trying to make it as simplistic as possible for you. So let's now. Okay. Okay, so do you guys see the revenue expenses sheet?
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, so now what I wanted to just kind of give you guys, these are the kind of minimum, these are the bare essentials of what we want to see in your business plan. We want to see an executive summary, a 1-page. It doesn't even have to be, you'll see in some of the sample business plans, some people took up a whole page for the executive summary. The executive summary is so important though, because, the judges are, we're going to have so many business plans to go over. The executive summary really should tell us everything. It should tell us, you can summarize what your financial projections are. You could say, hey, in the first year, we expect to make $500,000 profit. Second year, $750,000. In the third year, we're going to be over $1 million. So an executive summary wants you to summarize your business, summarize like your competition, your market, the most important things about your business that you've done in your business plan. We want you to summarize that in the executive summary. Got a couple of questions here. Yes, it says cash flow link, but that's really somebody asking the second link on the business plan center of the website. That's the link that the spreadsheet I just went over. It says cash flow, and it's really, I can rename that, and that's really a sheet that allows you to estimate your profits. So it's really an income statement. It's more than an income statement. It's an income statement that also shows your income as well as your expenses, but it allows you to calculate your profit. Now it says, someone asked the questions, is it okay if we're in debt the first year, but turn a profit? Absolutely. And I'm gonna tell you, that's realistic. Those are the types of things that we're gonna look for in determining if your business plan is truly a realistic business plan. It just, you're not just throwing numbers in a spreadsheet. What we want to be able to see, most businesses don't make money their first year. And in fact, some small businesses lose money their first year. And, they make up for it in the second year, in the third year. Ideally, you want to be profitable. We want to, if you gave us a business plan and you show that you lost, $50,000 in your first year, just as long as you explain that in your business plan, you'd be able to talk about why, maybe the market competition is very, strong in the first year, and you're anticipating that. It's just an example. You're anticipating that in the second year that the competition is going to be better, and you're going to be more competitive in the second year. and so, and therefore you'll be able to make more profit in the second year, then that's fine. Just say that, but we don't want you to just, give us a graph showing you making all this money. We really want you to be able to, and if you fill out that sheet that we provided you, there'll be ample areas that you can tell your story. You could talk about, your expenses and how you anticipate that your revenue will exceed your expenses over time. It's a lot of things that you can do as you grow your business. You can learn how to operate smarter. You can cut some of your administrative costs. You can move into a cheaper building, and you can cut your monthly rent in half if you can find a better place. Those are all cost saving measures, things that you can do and explain in your business plan as to why in this first year you're not making as much money in your first year, but you expect to make up for that in outcoming years. So the key ingredients for a business plan is going to be your executive summary. And like I said, the executive summary is the most important ingredient of your business plan, because the judges are going to spend a lot of time reading that executive summary and take up a page and really talk about your business and what it is that you do and your mission. You can summarize a lot of these. You could summarize a little bit of all the ingredients in your executive summary. So then we want to see, talk about your mission, and you'll see in the business plans that I'm going to share with you in a minute, a lot of folks, they didn't follow this outline, at least in their presentation, they didn't talk about their mission. They didn't talk about what it is that they do. They forgot to talk about their financial forecast in their presentation. And that's a fatal. You want to make sure, even though your PowerPoint won't be as detailed as your business plan, you want to make sure you don't leave anything out of your presentation that you discussed in your business plan. So you want to make sure you cover each one of these areas. You have a mission. What is your mission? What is that you do? Your market analysis, and that's when your market research, and you examine your market, and a lot of people do market research and they determine that that they were going to do, say if they were going to be in the pharmaceutical industry, and they do a market research to find out that the market research has demonstrated that the pharmaceutical industry was going to have a decline over the next couple of years. So that's why doing your market and understanding your market is so important, because it may help you determine that, hey, you know what, this is not the industry that I want to start a business in. A SWOT analysis. We could talk a little bit more about SWOT. Actually means strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So it's really what you talk about, the strengths of your business, and as well as you talk about the weaknesses. And it's important that you know the strengths of your business and the weaknesses of your business. The weakness might be your the competition. There may be some competition that is going to be a challenge for you. Weakness could also be some sort of regulation that's imposed by the the government that is going to hamper you a bit. So you have to really be able to talk about what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. A lot of people put their SWOT analysis in a table, and they just put under their strengths, they put 4 or 5 bullets. Under their weaknesses, they put 4 or 5 bullets. Opportunities. Opportunities could be an opportunity to do a partnership with a business. Another opportunity could be that the market is expected to have a rapid growth over the next 5 to 10 years. Those are all opportunities for your business. It could be, an opportunity to, like I said, partner with one of your competitors. So that's an opportunity. And then your threats could be things that could damage your business. If you're working in a high risk, if you're doing construction and you're working in a very high risk area, and some of your threats could be that your employees could be injured, have a lot of opportunities for employees to be injured. That could be a threat. Other threats could be if you're doing government contracts. A lot of times when we change administrations in the White House, there's new philosophies, radically different potentially than the administration before it. And that could be a threat for you because that administration may not be supportive of, if you're working in the transportation industry and you may get a new administration and that may not be pro-transportation or pro-infrastructure. As you know, right now, Biden is trying to spend $2 trillion on infrastructure. Infrastructure is like our bridges and our highways. Those are the infrastructures of this nation. So if you're in a construction business and you knew that the government was about to spend $2 trillion on infrastructure, that's an opportunity. So let's see here. Yeah, so that's an opportunity. So I do believe we have a sample business plan that'll show you how to put together a SWOT table. And then your competition is another key component of your business plan. Find out who your competitors are. We wanted you to list, 3 to 4 companies in your business plan who are your competition. And what you can do in your business plan is list your competition and do an assessment as to why you think you're going to be able to outperform your competitors. Then, of course, your marketing strategy. Marketing is one of those types of things that if you want new business, you got to spend money on doing marketing. Nowadays, there's a lot of amazing tools to do marketing. Now we have so many digital platforms now. There's Twitter, there's Facebook. There's a lot of ways to get the word out about your business now, cost effectively through digital platforms. But that could be one of your strategies, is to utilize digital platforms. Another one of your marketing strategies, could be to put together a collateral material, and that's like brochures and handouts and those types of things that you can go to conferences and you can share information about your company. So there's a lot of different strategies you'll find. Then your financial forecast is another key ingredient. We want to be able to see. It's very simple. We don't want you guys to go into, tremendous detail. Just remember, your revenue minus your expenses is your profit. That's all we want to be able to see. It's what your revenue is, and you'll be able to fill out that table and show your monthly revenue, and it'll give you your total annual revenue, your total annual expenses, and it'll tell you what your profit is for that first year. And then you can just estimate what you expect your forecast, your finances to be in year 2 and year 3. But you just have to just say hey, here's our profit for the first year. We expect to have 30% growth in the first year. In the second year, we expect to have 70% growth, or you just explain it. And I think it has to make sense to us. If you told us in your market research that you're operating in the industry that has tremendous growth, and then your forecast for your finances should match. They should match what your market research told you. And like I said, you could talk about ways that you've uh, determined that you're going to beat your competition in ways that you're going to freeze out your competition. Maybe in the first year of the competition will get the best of you, but you got to just tell us in the business plan, you have a strategy. It might be to go do a partnership with that competitor. And in that way that they're no longer competition. You guys are actually working together and you can achieve a greater portion of that market, sometimes working together with a business partner. And then the final key essential is your management and your operation. So this is really the quality of your personnel. You know, some people, you know, you'll have a CEO, you may have it, you know, a chief financial officer, you may have a treasurer, you may have a like a comptroller, those types of things. You may have a marketing director. But what we want to be able to see in your business plan is list those different positions that you want to have, and even in your team, you know, identify one person on the team as the CEO, identify another person on your team as your marketing director, you know, identify another person on your team as your chief financial officer, and that's the person that's going to be doing the number crunching for you. We really want to see you, if you have a team and teammates, you know, that really will show us that you guys are working together. The judges will love to see, and you to be able to demonstrate that in your presentation. You know, we'll talk a little more about that, you know, about the presentation. You know, we want you to introduce yourselves always when you start your presentation, say your name, be excited about it, and have everybody introduce their name, say the school districts. And that's why I have you guys introduce yourselves on these calls, because we want to see you do that in your PowerPoint. Say it is who you are. Say, I'm a senior marketing. I'm at Mission Bay High School in, you know, San Diego, and I'm going to be serving as the chief financial officer in this business, or I'm the CEO. And then also we want you to dress for the occasion in your presentation. Dress like as if you are going to a job interview when you guys record your 5-minute video presentation. And in some cases, if you know, some of our students have been very creative, and they went out and had t-shirts made with their team name on it, and they all wore those t-shirts in their presentation. So we challenge you guys to be creative. You know, these presentations, when you guys do that, you present to Nick and to Damon John, you know, these guys are sharks, and we want you to be creative. These guys are very generous, and they love working with young people. And if they see a business concept that they think can go to market, don't be surprised if Nick or Damon say, hey, we want to invest in your business. We want to actually see you take this business to the market. And some of you may already have a business and you're presenting a business plan for an existing business that you have. But either way, we want you to be creative. This is going to be, like I said, we expect it to be, you know, very competitive. But we want you to be creative in your presentations, and the judges will be able to demonstrate if you guys have worked together. And you know, you may have one person in your team that's a better speaker than the others. You know, if you want to have that person speak a little more, that's fine. But we still want you to be able to have everybody speak and talk about the business, because that'll just tell us that you guys will work well. So back in that last one, I was talking about your management structure, your quality of personnel. So how we're going to be able to determine your quality of your personnel is going to be by your resumes. And that's why we want just I'll show you some examples in a second. We want some 1-page resumes. Basically, it'll say, you know, we don't expect you guys to have a lot of work experience as teenagers, but, you know, you can list your hobbies, you can list, you know, maybe your grade point average and some of the extracurricular activities that you're in. Those are the types of things that a lot of times, you know, we've had some competitions where they were they were very close competitions. And if we have two teams that have scored evenly in their business plan, what might make the difference might be the quality of personnel. And that means that one team may have done a better job at describing their successes and extracurricular activity and involvement in their resumes. Because a lot of times what makes the difference between a successful business and a business that fail is the quality of their personnel. You know, if you have a real sharp chief financial officer that's really good with the number crunching, and he understands taxes, and he understands how to assess their finances, and and he's careful about taking financial risks and those types of things, that can make the difference between a business being successful. If you have a CEO that is a very good communicator, and a CEO that has really good interpersonal skills, that's gonna set that business apart if you have very good personnel. So that's why we ask you guys to submit a one-page resume, because it will give us an idea. It tell us a little bit about your personalities and your drive, and your resilience, and those types of things. Those are characteristics that are essential for being successful in a business. So real quick, I'm going to go over a few business plans real quick. Golly, it's already almost 10 minutes to 8. Let's see here. So let's see. There we go. Okay, so this first one, well, let's see, I don't really like this one. So what I'll do, let's see here. It's not letting me. Let me stop this share. Okay. Okay, guys, let me know if you guys see a PowerPoint. You see a PowerPoint coming up?
No, it's still on the files screen.
Okay. Okay, you see breaking the habit?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me do this. Okay, so what I want to do real quick here is let's see, where are we? Okay, so I'll just go through this. So here's a business called Breaking the Habit. Okay, this is their PowerPoint presentation. I'll just run through this, and I want you guys to look through it. And based on what I told you about some of the components that they didn't write a very good business plan, so I don't even really want to share that one. But in their PowerPoint here is a business that, so they call this Breaking the Habit. And it promotes a change in typical style of clothing that allow people to express their unique fashion through colorful art. So they came up with a business plan that it's like a clothing brand that's supposed to be very colorful and very artful. So they also, in addition, so this is the PowerPoint presentation. In addition to the resumes that they provided in their 10-page Word file, they also summarized each one of their teammates in their PowerPoint. And I think that was very smart to do. That way you're presenting to Nick and to Damon, and you'd be able to tell them a little bit about, and that's a way that you can draw the judges into tell them a little bit about yourselves and what are some of your interests and those kinds of things. So I thought that was a great idea. And here's a teammate. Okay. So what they attempted to do here is they gave a slide on the executive summary that was in their business plan. So they talked about the executive summary. They've talked about their personnel, their marketing strategy. In their marketing strategy, they're going to use, social media was one of their key strategies for getting the word out about their business. So social media for some businesses, it's going to be vital. Other business, not so much. Okay, so they listed some of their competitors, 3 of their competitors, Rip and Dip, Golf, and Custom Link. So these were 3 businesses. I guess these were in their local market that also had colorful type clothing. And their value proposition was they thought they were going to be able to beat their competition out is because they were going to be so much more affordable. And that's important to be able to demonstrate what makes you think you're going to be able to make you outperform your competition. And in this case, it was pricing. So I thought they did a good job with that. Okay, so here they talk a little bit about their, what their unit cost is going to be. Their permanent fabric markers, $14. Basic color t-shirts they're going to sell for, I guess this is their cost of $1 to $5. But these are the different colors that they plan to use. Then they talk here to tell you a little bit about their design of their shirts, socks, stickers, hoodies, pins. And here's an example of what some of their design work would look like on their t-shirts. Several examples. Here they talk about the future plans. They talk about their philanthropic. They want to be able to donate some of their profits to underprivileged children. That's a beautiful thing. I mean, judges would love to hear that kids are already thinking about giving back. So, be creative, guys. I mean, this is another way to be able to really get the judges' attention, let them know that you're thinking about others and you're thinking about giving back. So here they talk a little bit about their operations and management plan, and then they end it. Don't be afraid and different. Don't be afraid, break the habit. So what was missing from their plan? Does anybody know? What was a fatal missing component to this plan? Somebody says, who's that? Amutha Chala? Yes, financial projections, absolutely. Financial projections they did not discuss like how they're gonna make money. You gotta understand, you guys are gonna be presenting to 2 millionaires and they wanna hear that you guys are thinking at a young age, I wanna make money, I wanna make money, I want this business to make sure that it makes money. So there needs to be a graph in here somewhere that's showing their revenue projection. And they probably talked about it in their business plan, but they didn't bring that graphic over here. So when they present it to the judges are going to just assume that they missed it. And so I'm going to tell you what they did. They did talk about some of their costs in terms of some of their unit costs right here. They talk about the basic color t-shirt, $1 to $5. Permanent fabric markers. So they're using, okay, by using affordable products to create our merchandise, we can easily make our merchandise affordable as well as making a profit. So they talk a little bit, but they don't demonstrate what that profit is going to be. So that was fatal in reviewing their business plans. Let me see, we got 2 minutes. See if I'll have time to go over another one. Okay, let's see what their business plan look like. So this business right here is, let me get it up here. Can you guys see that? Are you seeing EasyCom?
It's still on the file page.
I just cannot get this right. Let's see. New share. Okay, are you seeing EasyCom now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So real quick, I'll just run through this. This was a very simple, but I think brilliant. This was probably 3-4 years ago. This was an idea to, you know how it's like a cell phone holder. You know how now you can buy those things to take selfies with like extended arm to take selfies, those types of things. He had an idea of how he designed something that he could mount to the wall, and he could place his cell phone in this device and do a number of things. And man, since then, there's been so many different types of designs that have gone to the marketplace. So he started out with talking about who they are, the problem. What he didn't start out with is an executive summary. The executive summary is the first thing we want to see. And even if he's kind of summarizing everything, we want to see that labeled as executive summary. They talk about the problem, and they're using graphics, and we encourage you guys to use graphics and color as much as possible, especially in your PowerPoint. So they talk about their solution. They listed some of the competition, who their audience, and it's called the handy phone. So here's the device that they stick to the wall, and they put the cell phone right in here. So what they did, they summarized what their starting cost is. So with that table that I showed you guys, that you can use that table to generate a table like this, because you could just put what your expenses are going to be for your first year, And so this is what they thought would be their startup cost. They showed a 5-year profit projection. So they're showing that they're going to make, close to, to me, this is boring in terms of, we want you guys to make money, of course, but all business is not that simple. You don't just jump into business and just start making money. We'd rather see a curve that kind of starts out showing you, not making as much money your first couple of years, and then you start making money in year 2 or year 3 or something like that. So that's more realistic and more believable. So here they have pictures of themselves. So they're talking about their management now. This was the chief executive officer. And so he, in my mind, this was not a very, it just didn't give me enough data, enough information in this business plan. Even though it was a brilliant idea, I don't think he did enough in terms of really giving us the details. So here's a sample resume. So, he talked about high school diploma. He was on a fast track student. He talked about some of his extracurricular activities, and he actually had some job experience. So I mean, if you've had part-time jobs and those types of things, you could certainly list them on there. But like I said, we're not expecting to see a whole lot of. We want to see more about your extracurricular activities, more about you and your personality, sports or whatever you do extracurricular activity. But anyway, it is 8:03, and I do have more business plans that I would like to share with you guys. I know it's a Friday evening. I'm not going to hold you guys over time this time. But so what we'll do, we will schedule at least 2 more workshops. And what we'll do is I'll make sure that I make some time to go over some more sample plans, and also continue to check the Business Plan Resource Center too. I may just place a couple of sample plans and presentations in there as well. But if not, definitely in the next workshop, we will make sure that we go over more sample plans, as well as to be able to let you guys present your plans or your PowerPoints as you develop them. Let's see if there's any more questions. Quickly show us an example of a good executive summary. Where can we find the Word doc? Is that also on the website? Okay, so what I'll do, I'll place a couple of these examples in the Business Plan Resource Center, at least 2 examples in there tonight, and you guys can run through them. And like I said, and the ones that I put in there, they're not perfect plans, but they'll have an executive summary. Let me look through and find the ones that I think that are at least have good executive summaries and good resumes and those types of things. But like I said, don't take the ones that I do share with you as like this is the model plan. Do your research. Make sure you cover those ingredients that I discussed, and I'll also make this recording available as well. But anyway, any questions or any more questions? Okay, well, thank you everybody for coming in on a Friday night, and I'll look to try to schedule another workshop, maybe next Friday. But and if anybody, as you get closer to where you feel like you're ready to present your plan, so that we give you feedback, shoot me an email and say, hey, we're ready. And like I said, it can be rough. I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be to your advantage to be able to present that and let us tell you, if you're on a right track or not. So, it doesn't have to be finished. It doesn't have to be complete, but at least it has to be enough there that we can give you some good feedback. All right. No questions? Well, you guys enjoy your Friday, and we'll schedule another workshop for next Friday or toward the end of the week next week. But I'll send an email out and let you guys know. All right.
Bye.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Have a
Thank
Good
you.
evening. Okay.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Bye.
Have a nice
Thank
day.
you. Thank you.